stop. Before you skip this video, I need you to hear me out for just 10 seconds. If you are a retiree in Canada, or if you are helping someone who is, and you have money sitting in a TFSA right now, there is a very real chance that money is being quietly drained. Not by the government, not by your bank, by a mistake that almost nobody talks about. And in 2026, with the new contribution room and updated CRA rules, that mistake is costing Canadians thousands of dollars every single year. I have seen this happen to good, hardworking people who did everything right their whole lives, and it breaks my heart every time. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for and exactly how to fix it before it is too late. Welcome back to Credit Smart Canada. I am so glad you are here today, because this is one of those videos that I genuinely believe can change the financial situation of someone watching right now. Whether you are already retired, approaching retirement, or you are that son or daughter who handles finances for a parent, this one is for you. Grab a coffee, sit down, and let us talk about what is actually going on with TFSAs in 2026 and why so many Canadians are losing money without even realizing it. Let us start with the basics so everyone is on the same page. Your tax-free savings account is one of the most powerful financial tools the Canadian government has ever given its citizens. Every dollar you put in grows completely tax-free. Every dollar you pull out, tax-free. No impact on your OAS, no clawback triggers, no reporting headaches. It sounds perfect. And honestly, when used correctly, it is. But here is where things start to go wrong for retirees specifically. The number one silent killer inside Canadian TFSAs in 2026 is overcontribution. And I know what you are thinking. I have heard this before. I am careful about this. But listen, because this is not the simple version you have heard. The overcontribution problem has gotten more complicated, and CRA is not sending you a warning letter before they hit you with the penalty. By the time you find out, you may already owe them 1% per month on every dollar over the limit. Let that sink in. 1% every single month on money that was supposed to be working for you tax-free. Here is what is happening. In 2026, the annual TFSA contribution room went up. That is good news. But the problem is that a huge number of retirees are miscounting their total lifetime room. Why? Because many people withdrew money from their TFSA in previous years. Maybe to help a grandchild, maybe to cover a medical expense, maybe to buy a car. And they believe they can immediately recontribute that withdrawn amount. That is partially true, but the recontribution room does not come back until January 1st of the following year. If you pulled money out in 2025 and put it back before December 31st, 2025, and you had already used your room for that year, you just over-contributed. And CRA does not care that it was an honest mistake. The penalty clock starts ticking immediately. Now layer on top of that the fact that a lot of retirees are managing multiple TFSA accounts, one at their bank, one at a credit union, sometimes one at an online brokerage their kids help them open. Each institution reports separately. No one is adding it all up for you automatically and flagging when you cross the line. That is your job. And if math and spreadsheets are not your strong suit, or if you just never thought to check, the problem can grow for months before you catch it. But overcontribution is only the first issue. The second one is arguably even more dangerous for retirees, and it has to do with what you are holding inside your TFSA. A growing number of Canadians, especially those who started doing their own investing online during and after the pandemic, are holding what CRA classifies as non-qualified investments inside their TFSA. This includes certain types of shares in private companies, some foreign assets, and other holdings that sound perfectly legitimate on the surface, but do not meet the technical definition of an eligible investment for a registered account. If CRA audits your TFSA and finds a non-qualified investment, the tax consequences are severe. We are talking about a tax equal to 50% of the fair market value of that investment at the time it was acquired. 50% gone, and that is before any other penalties. The third issue that I really want to highlight, and this one is specifically for retirees who are drawing income from their TFSA, is the interaction between your TFSA withdrawals and your federal benefits. Now, your TFSA withdrawal does not directly count as income for tax purposes, which is one of the beautiful things about it. But what a lot of people do not realize is how the timing and size of your TFSA withdrawals, when combined with other income sources, can affect your financial planning in ways that are not always obvious. getting proper advice on sequencing your withdrawals from your RRF, your CPP, your OAS, and your TFSA in the right order and at the right time is worth thousands of dollars over a retirement. And most people are not doing it. They are just taking money from wherever feels easiest in the moment. So what do you actually do about all of this? I'm going to give you 3 clear steps right now. First, go to your CRA My Account online and check your official TFSA contribution room. This is the number CRA has on file for you. It is not always updated in real time. There can be a lag, but it gives you a strong baseline. If you have never logged into CRA My Account, make that the one financial task you do this week. It is free, it takes about 20 minutes to set up, and the information in there can save you thousands. Second, list every single TFSA account you have open anywhere. Every institution. Get the current balance and the total contributions made into each one for this year. Add them all together and compare that to your official CRA room. If something does not line up, do not guess. Call CRA directly or sit down with a qualified financial advisor who understands registered accounts. Third, review what you are actually holding inside your TFSA. If you or someone else put investments in there that you do not fully understand, or if you transferred assets from one account to another without going through the proper process, it is worth having a professional take a look. A 1-hour consultation with the right person could save you from a penalty that would wipe out years of growth. I want to be really honest with you. I make these videos because I genuinely care about Canadians getting a fair shot at financial security. The rules around TFSAs are not complicated on purpose, but they are detailed, and when you are busy living your life, raising kids, helping aging parents, running a household on a fixed income, it is so easy for these details to slip through the cracks. That is not a personal failing. That is just life. But the consequences are real, and they fall hardest on the people who can least afford them. If this video helped you, or if you know someone who needs to hear this, please share it. That is genuinely the most powerful thing you can do right now. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. I read every single one, and the Credit Smart Canada community is full of people who are navigating exactly what you are navigating right now. You are not alone in this. Subscribe if you have not already, because we put out videos every week covering real money issues that actually affect Canadians. No fluff, no jargon, just straight answers. Hit that notification bell so you never miss one. And I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves out there. Out.